Who was Smokey Nagata? Kazuhiko Nagata, more known as Smokey Nagata, was born in Hokkaido in 1964. He is a Japanese car engineer, founder and CEO of Top Secret Company Limited. But what made him famous was what he did November 4th in 1998. Around 4 a.m. on November 4th, 1998, Kazuhiko "Smokey" Nagata pulled off the hard shoulder into lane 2 of the A1M and came to a stop. With rain falling and the mercury hovering just above freezing, he pinned the throttle, dropped the clutch and performed a monstrous burnout in the middle of the road. Satisfied the Midlands were suitably sluiced in tire smoke, he gunned his heavily modified 1003 brake horsepower, Japanese registered, gold-painted Toyota Mk.4 Supra with one aim in mind, hitting 200 miles per hour. Due to some complications, the engine running lean on one run, the car wanting to jettison its bonnet at 190 odd on another, he had a few attempts but ultimately fell short of the double ton, clocking 194 miles per hour. More than enough to unofficially claim the dubious, dangerous record of the fastest speed ever reached by a car on UK public highway. It wasn't long before the winter darkness filled with blue lights, the police made chase and arrested him, resulting in Smokey having a night at Her Majesty's pleasure, a remarkably lenient sentence which wouldn't happen today, before going back to Japan, worried his tuning company was going to go under. In reality, quite the opposite happened. His escapades hit the headlines, and the grainy footage of him illegally squirreling down the motorway from the camera's gaffer taped to the car went VHS viral, instantly catapulting him to legendary status within the tuning community. It was the ultimate ballsy PR tool for his company, Top Secret, proving that his cars were the real deal. Fast forward 20-odd years and the perpetual nature of social media algorithms has propelled that grainy footage to a new generation. 2 decades on, Top Gear's come to Japan to learn a bit more about the man, the myth, and the truth behind that highly dangerous night. Considering his infamy as a 200 miles per hour maniac, Smokey doesn't have the look of a menace to society. He's softly spoken and anxiously fidgets in conversation, often cowering back into a shell of introversion that wraps around his stunted, slight frame. But it's unwise to judge him by his mannerisms. Inside, there's a burning extrovert. One that doesn't stand for social suppression or authority, a trait only exercised in and around cars. I grew up on a farm in Hokkaido, he says, dragging in a hefty tokay from his cigarette. It's Japan's northernmost prefecture, so there's not much going on. But my father loved driving fast, so I became obsessed with the sensation of speed and started tinkering with cars. I bought my first when I was 15 years old, a Mitsubishi Galant GTO. But I struggled to fix it, so a local boss at Toyota helped me get it running. When we did, I started driving it to school. But, being only 16, it was illegal. So when the teachers found out, I was expelled. I had no money, so joined the tuning company Trust, the company behind Giretti. I was only allowed to make mufflers and work on turbos, but I wanted more. I wanted to tune for top speed. So, after hours, I would work on my own projects at the shop. The bosses found out and weren't happy, but turned a blind eye as they didn't want to lose me. So it was our secret. Top Secret. Hence the name of the pioneering tuning company he set up on the sly and has been running for nearly 3 decades. And you can see why Nagata-san got itchy fingers at Trust. It was the early 90s, when a perfect storm of events was brewing, eventually making for an automotive renaissance and golden era of tuning. JDM cars with massive potential and exploitable performance were being released. Cars like the Nissan R32 GTR, Toyota Supra and Mazda RX-7. Tuners went properly crackers at this time, uncorking them to see how fast they'd go. It compounded in a near-pathological obsession with speed. 0-300 km/h run times at Yatabe's oval proving ground became most valuable currency in the scene. Then, with the connection of new, free-running motorways, top speed runs started spilling out onto the streets, specifically the Aqua Line, a 9.6 kilometers tunnel underneath Tokyo Bay that late at night would become Smokey's subterranean test track. Just wanting to be the fastest, Smokey's always been brand agnostic and often mixes a cocktail of different manufacturers' components to make Frankenstein, bright gold, winners only get gold, see, VMAX machines. Over the years, he's been through every generation of GTR, with an R32 being top secret's first. Later, his R33 Skyline GTR managed 0 to 300 km per hour in 17 seconds at Yatabe and 204 miles per hour in the tunnel, arguably the kernel of the idea of the A1M run. In the seat for the Aqua Line run was none other than tuning Bible, Max Power. For younger audiences, Max Power was a modified car mag like no other. Along with Gatso jousting, car park racing and asking what your favorite colored orifice was, it had real sway and embedded itself within the zeitgeist, selling nearly 250,000 copies a month. So when it offered to pay to send Smokey in his car over for the Max Power live show, he agreed. Then the idea of doing 200 miles per hour came up. I flew a video crew from a Japanese magazine, Option, over too, otherwise I would get bored, he says, lighting another cigarette and slotting his Zippo lighter into his top pocket. It was Max Power's idea to go really fast, and the Supra could do it. It had an RB26 DETT engine from a GTR. Toyota's 2JZ is great for low-end torque, but we needed high-end power and I could work on it easier. But the Supra's bodywork and aero, which were great for top speed. I was very aware of what I was doing, and wanted as much attention as possible for the best photography and video. So that's it. This a resume of the iconic life of Smokey Nagata. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe and drop a like.